Well, this here is the Datsun Redi-Go, and this of course is the AMT version, the automatic version I'm driving today. Now, if you're in the market for an affordable car, you want something which is relatively compact on the outside but has loads of room and loads of headspace on the inside, then this is one of the best options out there for you. And why is that? Well, I'll get to the interiors in a bit. But let me just tell you that this car not only looks very striking on the outside, but also because of its high set stance, its high set seats, has that miniature SUV look going, which a lot of other manufacturers are really going in for. Anyways, my name is Ashish Masih, watching me on Autoportal. If you're coming in for the first time, please do subscribe to our channel and also hit that bell icon so you receive all our notifications first. Here's a quick message from our sponsors, Woodmo.com. Woodmo, as you might be aware by now, is the online expert in terms of spare parts. If you want a spare part for your vehicle, they have it in their list. They have the most extensive spare parts catalog, right from the most affordable small car to the top of the line luxury car, you name the car, and they have the spare parts for it. And the best point is that they have the spare parts from a host of different component makers and different price segments for the same spare part. So if you want to buy a cheaper part from a different maker or a more expensive part from a different component maker, they have the option for you. Well, so before getting inside the interior of this car, let me just show you the exteriors of this car. The big changes, of course, now are a more prominent grille, which gets chrome surrounds. The headlamps have been slightly modified, and of course, you get this strip over here, which is now LED. So these are the major changes or the minor changes. It's basically MMC. MMC internally in company language means minor model change or minor model facelift, and I think that this is a good looking car in terms of its overall design language. As you can see from the front, it will remind you also of a miniature version of the Nissan Magnite. Yes, from the front end, it does have that same look of the Magnite, because the Magnite essentially was supposed to be a Datsun product and then they changed it into a Nissan product. But anyways, we're talking about here of this car, not the Magnite. Anyways, that's enough about the exteriors. Let's jump inside now and tell you what it is from the inside. Well, so I'm in the front seat now of the Redi-Go, and the first thing you really like about this car is that it has very high set seats, so you get a good view of the road ahead and you can see 2 or 3 cars ahead of you. So that's something which buyers will appreciate, especially buyers who get stuck in traffic. What you'll also appreciate is the build quality and the plastic quality. It does have some hard plastics on the lower part of the dashboard, but it's not that bad. And if you really do consider the price of this car, I think the plastic quality, the overall look and feel is quite good. The silver accents over here, silver surround around this AC as well as stereo system is quite good, and does liven up the interior. The seats though, they are slightly on the softer side. They could have had better padding and better cushioning, but then again, remember, this is a car which is in the budget section of the market, and it really is a very affordable and cheap car. So in that sense, I think this is just about decent. Lots of space to keep your knickknacks. You can keep one over here on this tray, one over here, and you also get a huge tray, or maybe where you can keep a couple of beverage holders as well. And the power window buttons are here in the center. It should have been on the doors, that would have been better, but these are also okay, because as I said, you have to keep everything in consideration. This of course is a budget car. What you will like is the touchscreen. It's nice and large, and even the menus and sub-menus are quite good to read, so that's something good. On the negative side though, the glove box is really very tiny. Anyways, I think the plastic quality, the features list, as well as the overall ambience is just about par for course at this price point and for this segment. Let's see how good the backseat really is. Well, so Nissan, or rather Datsun, has given you 3 seat belts over here, one for the passenger there, one for here, and one lap belt for the passenger in the middle. I think they're being a little too optimistic, because this car is best for 2. It's not a very wide car, so 2 really is best. And if you have a third person, it's ideal that he's a small child or she's a small child, because 3 large adults here will just not fit. Legroom though is just about adequate, and headroom also is decent. There's place below the front seats where you can stretch your feet, so that's something which is good. On the downside, the headrest in the front and at the back are both fixed, so you can't adjust them, and the windows also are not barred at the back. They're wind down and wind up windows, which means that your arms and your triceps will get a good workout in case you missed that day at the gym. Overall though, again, if you think that I'm being very negative about the car, just keep in mind that this is a very budget car. It's a car which sells at the budget end of the market, so all these things should be taken into account. And for the kind of price this car is being offered at, I think the space inside is quite good and adequate, because it takes on the likes of the Espresso as well as the Alto at this price point, and for that kind of segment, this space is more than sufficient. Now let's see how good the boot on this car really is. Well, so if you're thinking why am I coming from this side and not standing here, that's because I needed to get the keys, because the boot on this car opens up with the key only. You can't open it with the latch or any other button. In case you forget the key, it's your problem, not somebody else's, so better take it out. Now, in terms of the space, it's decent and at par with its main rivals, the Espresso and the Alto, you can say. It's got decent amount of space over here. The only issue is that the ledge here is huge, and it's really a very big ledge, so you need to really put in the back if you have to, use a trolley at the airport and put in luggage. So that's the only thing. Couple of big bags can easily fit over here. Overall though, if you consider the compact dimensions of this car, the relatively compact dimensions, and see that there's no big compromise in terms of boot space or even the back seat area, I think Datsun have done a decent job with the overall packaging of the interior. Anyways, now let's drive this car around and then tell you whether you should consider buying it, keeping it in your shortlist, or simply ignoring it. Well, so here I am driving the Datsun Redi-Go now. Now remember, this car comes with a 1-litre turbocharged petrol engine that makes 100 bhp. Well, no, it doesn't make so much power. It's not a turbo engine, it's just a regular engine. I just thought I'll test you or check if you're paying attention or not. Now, in terms of outright power delivery, the engine is quite nice and quite peppy and responsive. And you'll appreciate the fact that it's ready to respond to your throttle. It was right from the word go. The only thing is that when you rev it up too hard and you pass 2,500-3,000 RPM, it tends to become a little boomy and a little loud, and that's not the engine's fault. It's because the cabin insulation materials haven't been used extensively in this car, just to save on cost. So you'll also hear a lot of the tire noise and suspension noise, and sometimes if you do exceed 90 or 100 kph, you'll also hear some wind noise from here. So that's because the overall insulation hasn't been really taken care of because of the cost cutting and making it a very affordable car. So that's the only reason. What you'll also like is that towards the red line, towards the top end of its power band, the power delivery is quite good, and you'll appreciate that as well, because this car loves to perform when the revs go up. What you'll also like is the ride comfort, which is surprisingly good because it's got very compact wheelbase, very short wheelbase. I thought that the ride will be a little crashy, a little not so good, but it is surprisingly good, and it does take the badly passenger roads in its stride. It won't ruffle your feathers or ruffle the car's feathers. And also the steering wheel is nice and light, which is something that first time car buyers will really like, because they don't have to put in too much effort. You can really use a small finger and operate the steering wheel, something that you should do, but I'm just trying to show you how it can be done. The visibility is good, you get excellent view from the front end, the side view mirrors are large, and even this mirror here and the glass over there is quite big, so you get a good view of everything around you. So that's something which buyers again who drive for the first time or learn how to drive for the first time will appreciate. High set seats also do aid that quite a bit. The AMT gearbox, the automatic manual transmission, well, it does suffer from a little bit of lurchiness, which is present on all AMT gearboxes, and even if you use it in manual mode and you downshift or upshift, it will take a second or second and a half to actually shift once you hit the lever over here. So that's something that you need to take in your stride. But when you're on the highway or doing speeds in excess of 80 kph, I think it is more or less decent in terms of operation. And overall, as a package, you have to keep in consideration that this car sells at the budget end of the market, so you can't expect it to perform like a CVT gearbox or like torque converter gearbox, because these are affordable gearboxes, and I think this car's performance is quite decent in that sense. Overall though, I am quite pleased with the performance, because if you consider the price, if you consider everything, I think the performance is more than adequate and quite sufficient for a car of this segment and at this price point. And what I also like about this car is that fuel efficiency, what buyers claim, is usually quite good and quite high, and that's something that most buyers who've driven this car and kept this car in their garage have always claimed to be true. Well, so overall, the Datsun Redi-Go comes across as an affordable car which offers you a decent AMT gearbox. Yes, this car might not be perfect, but remember that this car sells at the bottom end or at the lower end of the price pyramid, which means that in terms of affordability, it's one of the most affordable automatic cars out there. So, before making up your mind and thinking about some fancy features as well as some fancy kit, remember that this is one of the most affordable AMTs, and if you're in the market for an AMT car which offers you good fuel efficiency, decent space and decent practicality, then a few cars come close to the Redi-Go. So bye for now, and thanks so much for watching.